Welcome back to Almost Local. I'm Maria, your host, podcasting from Auckland, New Zealand. If you're new here, a warm welcome. Almost Local is a community for those navigating life abroad, sharing the ups and downs of living in a new country. If you have been listening to the podcast, welcome back and thank you for tuning in once again. Today's episode is a year-end reflection on what 2025 has been for me. This is about returning, not starting from zero. A brief timeline about my journey navigating life abroad. I'm from Argentina, originally from Buenos Aires. In 2016, we moved to New Zealand, my husband and the two kids were 3 and 5. And we lived in Auckland until 2022. Right after the pandemic, we moved to the Netherlands, where we lived in The Hague for 3 years. This year, we moved back to New Zealand, where we have been living for the past 5 months. For us, returning to New Zealand has been like coming back to our old house. Obviously, our kids now are teenagers. They're 13 and 15. I also grew up a bit. Same country, same house, different people. I'm not starting from scratch in New Zealand, but I am also not the same person who left. So let's dive into today's episode. So now that we are back in New Zealand, I'm not the same person. The place feels familiar, but some things don't feel the same. I came back carrying old memories. As soon as we landed in New Zealand, all the memories came back from the airport. Auckland's airport is not a big airport. It feels familiar. We knew exactly how to navigate the airport, what we were supposed to do. It was like, okay, we're home. We took the same shuttle as 3 years ago. The same company was very easy to find. What also we found familiar was like we were arriving to our old house. So the street, just driving around our neighborhood, we live in Auckland, in Glendowie, just passing by the streets, everything was quiet. Not many people walking around, seeing Mount Taylor, the lovely scenery in Auckland. Those things were familiar to us, and we were so happy and excited to see this again. But at the same time, as soon as it was night, everything felt really dark. The city was super dark. We had forgotten about how dark this city is in the night. There are no lights, which is a great thing, but you need to get used to that again. In Europe, you have lights everywhere. It's busy everywhere. So here, this quiet environment, dark, you don't see anyone. That felt different. We also found familiar faces, our neighbors, our friends. That was really nice. They all helped us from Europe. We were calling them and asking for help with different things we needed to settle. The community sense we always loved about New Zealand is something we instantly found here with our friends and neighbors who came to say hello and ask if we needed something. Some things felt unexpectedly foreign. We found the city full of cars. Maybe it looked busier than before. A lot of new houses in the neighborhood. Adapting back to our new life in New Zealand for the past 5 months has been a mix of memories and identity, comparing your life here with the life you had before. Comparing countries and cities is inevitable. That's part of what happens when you go back to a place you call home. Returning isn't about finding your way. It's about renegotiating who you are. There's actually a name for what I went through these past months. It's called reverse culture shock. And it's harder than the first or second move. Reverse culture shock happens when you return to a familiar place as a different person. It often includes doubt, like, did we make a mistake? Was this the right choice? It also includes grief for the place you left, even if you're sure that you wanted to leave. You would still be uncertain about and could be doubting if that was the right decision. It includes irritability with things you once accepted. It includes comparison, even when you don't want to. It's inevitable to compare with the country you're coming from. That's part of the experience. It includes exhaustion, a strange sense of not fully belong anywhere, not here and not there because you left. It can feel emotional and lonely. Many people report it lasts between 3 to 12 months. It's common to feel better around the 4th and 6th month, but it really takes time. It could take up a year to go through this reverse cultural shock. I remember landing in New Zealand at the airport. I was 200% sure of our decision. And almost immediately in the following days, I was thinking, what the heck did we do? That's part of what we go through when we change countries, and it's harder than the first move, and it's called reverse culture shock. One of the hardest things since we came back has been explaining why we came back. People kept asking us, and every time I meet someone new, they are like, so why did you come back? We always knew we were going to return to New Zealand. That was our plan. However, I don't think people really believed that we were returning. Sometimes decisions are made in a different way, not as people expect. Sometimes I reply like I'm some sort of robot because it's difficult to keep answering the same question. It's sometimes not a simple explanation. To people in Europe, it sounded like we were going to the end of the world, New Zealand. And to people here, it was like, oh, you really did come back. We didn't think you would. A lot of people thought that this is it. They're leaving and they're not returning. There's that awkward moment when you try to put something emotional and instinctive into logical words, and it never sounds quite right. Sometimes belonging isn't a strategic decision. It's more a feeling rather than a logical decision. There was a moment when I realized that I had changed. I was looking at the Kiwi kindness that is so New Zealand and that everyone talks about from the outside. After 3 years of Dutch directness, efficient, honest, sometimes tough, I'd gotten used to it. Coming back to New Zealand, the Kiwi style felt slower, more roundabout, and I caught myself missing the Dutch clarity. That really surprised me because I'd admired this easy Kiwi warmth before. So that was a bit of a shock for myself. When what used to feel perfect now feels different. Not worse, just seen through new eyes. Some habits return within days, like saying hello to strangers on a walk, or, that chat that just starts randomly about the weather or swimming on the ocean. It's a sunny day for a swim, isn't it? And you don't even know the person. And suddenly you're engaging in a conversation with a total stranger, talking about weekend plans. On a Monday mornings at my co-working space, people really make space for this small talk. I love that pause. I love that you're not just jumping into work, talking and making space to connect. That's exactly what this small talk is about. It's connecting with people. That is something I had forgotten about, but I got used to that quickly. This friendliness that doesn't need a reason. You just talk and have this human connection. And then here in New Zealand, there are the sounds of nature. The birds here are so loud. Sometimes they are even louder than the traffic. And something that I particularly love, the beaches, still empty, still stunning, and the luxury of space, which is really unique in New Zealand. Those are the moments when I think we are incredibly lucky to live here. This past year has been a difficult one for many. And before leaving in 2022, I had to say goodbye to people who were truly sad. Now coming back here and being welcomed in such a warm way, such a kind way, walking back to these same arms and hearing people hugging them and hearing them say, "Oh, Maria, you actually came back just like you said you would." And to see genuine happiness in their faces, that really moved me deeply. How can you not love a country that welcomes you back with open arms and huge smiles? New Zealand held space for us again. And for that, I'm really grateful. Maybe you've had that too, coming back to a place somewhere new and realizing the place hasn't changed much, but you have. And that is part of this journey. When you live abroad, you definitely change so much and there is so much growth. In that space, I love to call the in-between space. You're not from here, you're not from there, you are in the in-between, and I would say honor it. It's exactly there that growth lives. So thanks for being here with me past months. Almost Local has just started. It's a podcast that I began just a few months ago, but I've been sharing my stories about this new chapter here in New Zealand. I will see you in the next episode, the last one for this year, and we will have a fresh start in New Zealand with the podcast next year. If you like this episode, remember to like, comment, leave a review, share with other Almost Locals. We are growing a community and we have listeners all around the world, not only here in New Zealand, Australia, but also different countries in Europe, Germany, Spain, the Netherlands, South America, Canada, US, Japan, Egypt. If you're listening from these corners of the world, thank you so much. I will be seeing you next episode. And now I'm going off to my morning coffee. Thank you.